Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with another mini chat. Today we are doing, where's my little Manny bonus, Manny bingo board here. I am doing, where is it? There's one. I bet you guys can find it quicker than I can, but it's basically, here it is. Let someone else pick your sets. And I gave Panda Bear 3 different sets to choose from. I really thought he would pick the horsies, but he actually said to save the horsies for a derby day. So looks like that's going to be saved for my birthday Manny. Now there's only 2. And which one did he pick? Comment below before we actually do it. Alright, he picked this one. So we are doing Luxe Dècor. Luxe Dècor. And that is Panda Bear's pick. He's actually in the room too, making his own songs with ChatGPT. And it's really fun. And it makes me feel so loved because he's just making up songs about me having to work today. And then now I'm doing my nails. So, yeah, you guys get to hear it. Oh, it's too cute. But I had other nails on and I had to take them off because the whole weekend we've been doing overtime work, shuffling a ton of papers, and my hands were super dry, and this problem child nail has gotten even shorter. It keeps chipping, and I don't know why. Probably because I use it as a tool and I'm not supposed to. But my peace sign fingers, the nails are just super short compared to the rest of them now. Probably because I use those nails the most. But yeah. I already prepped my base with Nail Aid Collagen Maximum Builder. And this was probably going to be a super quick mani because it's just one set. And yeah. Like I said, the whole weekend was busy doing work, but some of my team members showed up and we got a lot done, and I'm very happy about that. We still got a lot to do, and I underestimated the amount of supplies we needed for the project, so that is not like me. So I have to figure out why, like, where did I go wrong in estimating the amount of stuff we needed. But whatever we get out tomorrow, we'll get out tomorrow, and just gotta be good with the fact that it is gonna be what it is. Alright, so I wanted these as well as these for accent fingers on my thumb and my ring finger, and then the rest of them are going to have this color just because it's so pretty by itself. And now I just got to gather up the ones that I don't need to use. Now Color Street is a one-time use application, but a lot of us who do our nails with Color Street like to save our leftovers and try to reuse them later, which is what I'm attempting to do right now. That one though I want to use as, well, actually I probably can make a nail stick without using one of those. So let me just, my last nail stick, shoot, I need to figure out where I keep the back, like the supply. I know I have more somewhere, but yeah, you guys get to hear exclusive songs in the background. There was the cutest one. This one's the second one. It's a country one about me doing my nails. And then Panda Bear had made a song about me having to work today. And it was like a pop song. And that was so cute. And he created a cover art for it too, and it literally looks like me, how I pull my hair back like in a bun, and then a big panda bear sitting right behind me, and it was super cute. Gotta show it to you guys one day. But yeah. Oh, and here's the song. Don't know if you can hear it in the background or not, but I can. Yeah, so we got to finish our project before we head out, but we'll see. There is also a bunch of other things going on besides this big project that goes out tomorrow, and trying to find the balance is super difficult, but we somehow make it work. And as far as diet goes, we have been eating what is called, like, I guess the rice diet or sugar diet. And it's basically very low in fat. So it's been quite a challenge to try to figure out how to create recipes that are like almost no fat, you know, and that includes no butter, no olive oil, no cheese. Yeah, it has pushed my creativity in cooking a whole lot because I'm so used to using fat in all of my cooking and baking. So one thing I did successfully make is a sourdough pizza dough that is made simply with a sourdough starter, salt, water, and flour. So no butter, no oil, or anything like that. And it kept getting better. Like the first time using it, it was okay, but when you make the dough, you have to cut it in 4 servings and put them in containers in the fridge for at least a minimum of 6 hours and up to 3 days. And so the 2 we had, was it on Thursday or was it on Friday? I think it was Thursday. Could have been Friday. It had to have been Friday, but it was okay. The one we had today though was a lot better. So I think even though it says to leave it in the fridge minimum 6 hours, I think you gotta leave it in the fridge for at least a couple of days for it to really taste like amazing. So, but yeah, it's a very delicate dough, so you can't work it too much with your fingers. You have to kind of like lightly work it and kind of preserve some of the little bubbles in the dough so that it's light and airy. So I know that when we had our pizza on Friday, I think I overworked the dough, so the crust was like really heavy and it wasn't the best. But today I did a lot better in trying not to overwork it. And because it's super low fat, so there was no cheese. No cheese on this pizza. It's more like a tomato pie with just tomato sauce, which I made my own tomato sauce using tomatoes and herbs and spices. Following a recipe, of course. I tend to like to follow recipes that I find online, but this sauce had no oil, so no olive oil, and it was pretty tasty actually. I didn't mind it at all, but I do miss having cheese. So I am a cheese addict. Panda Bear, when I was at work today, went walking with the Rents, and somehow they got on the conversation of how I used to put cheese on pretty much everything when I was growing up. And so, yeah, as a cheese lover, having pizza without cheese is like, it's alright. It's definitely, you know, better with cheese. But I got my cheese fix by watching YouTube videos. There was one Food Insider video where the two hosts, one is from England and the other one is from here in the US, compare cheeses from the US and England. And so that was my cheese fix, watching YouTube about cheese while not eating cheese. So it's a sad life, and we're gonna laugh about it all the way to seeing the pounds come down. So, you know, nothing tastes as good as skinny. Yeah, right. Cheese tastes the best. I'm gonna cry. But yeah, anyways, so what else have we eaten? Oh, and then creating a salad dressing with no fat too. So I found a recipe for salad dressing where to make the, like, mimic the creaminess of like oil that's usually in salad dressing, using white kidney beans and blending it up. It's a little thick, but it's actually pretty tasty. You actually don't really miss the fat. And so, but my mom didn't like the salad dressing because Dijon mustard is used in it, and she said it tastes like wasabi. And so she was not a fan. But Panda Bear, my pops, and I don't mind it at all. And so we made a salad. It had like radishes and onions and grape tomatoes. It was pretty delicious. And then we also have been drinking vegetable soup and the fat-burning cabbage soup. I found a recipe for a fat-burning cabbage soup, and we've been like drinking a ton of soup, basically getting all our vegetables in one sitting, and bulking that soup up with rice. So yeah, we'll see what things are gonna look like by the time we get to Aldrich's wedding in April, which April is literally around the corner. We've got one more day in March, and then April is upon us. It's pretty crazy how quickly time goes by. But that's also why I gotta keep focusing on checking off squares on this Manny Bingo, because we're literally, the first month is like completely like gone, and we're moving on to month 2. So March through the end of August is when we have to complete all of the squares, although you don't have to complete all the squares. So for those of you who are part of Stacy Adams' Facebook group, you do know that it is up to us how many squares we do. It's all for fun. But I love doing like a full blackout on the Manny Bingo, only because Stacy always pushes us to be creative, and I like that. Because sometimes, like, I have so many color street sets that I really don't know, like, where to go as far as what set to use or what sets to mix and all of that. Analysis paralysis. When you have too many things to choose from, you get kind of stuck. And so I liked that this bingo square, at least, was one where I could put the choice in somebody else. Although Panda Bear did say pick out a couple of them for him to choose from instead of having him look through all of my color street binders full of nails. That might have taken like half the day. because I have like 10 binders full of nails. That's a lot. It's a lot. And I've stopped buying so many of these sets, but somehow I'm having the hardest time actually like diminishing the amount of sets I have. And it's probably because I use sets, and then I also like to use regular conventional nail polish too. And so it's like a mix of both. And then I don't always use up all of one set. So then it ends up being that I'll sometimes use the leftovers of some of the other sets. So, it takes a bit of time. But I have been doing better about not buying like all the sets. When my sister-in-law Carla was a stylist, I was like literally buying like almost all the sets just to buy the sets, which was like silly because there's sets that are like, oh, I don't really like see myself wearing that anytime soon. Which is actually funny because there's another bingo square on here that says use a set you keep passing by, and that's gonna be one that's gonna take me some time to figure out what set that would be, because I pass up a lot of sets when I'm looking at sets to use, and especially because I subscribe to Color Play, so every month I get a sub box with like 4 or 5 sets in the box. And a lot of those sets, like when I first started getting the boxes, I tried to use all the sets in the box to do like a mixed mani. And then I realized that a lot of the times these sets don't really go very well together, like all together. And they're probably not meant to mix all together. They're probably meant to wear, separately. It's probably for people that maybe don't buy a lot of color street nails, and a box is meant to be used like throughout the whole month, maybe. Probably. I don't know. Comment below if you know the whole, like, what are we supposed to do with those sets? Anyways, so a lot of my sub box sets I haven't really like ventured into using recently. And so that was why when I decided that Panda Bear was going to pick a set, I picked sets from the Color Play boxes to show him. But I really thought he would have picked the horses, because he's a big fan of horse racing and horses and stuff. And then that reminds me of Ken from the Barbie movie, who was like big on horses. And yeah, I think Ryan Gosling did an excellent job of portraying Ken. And yep, that's pretty much all I can think about is horses. When I think of horses, I think of Ken, and I think of Panda Bear. So Panda Bear's my Ken, but I'm not Barbie. So, yeah. Anywho, what else did we do this week? Oh, what we didn't get to do was hang with Mama Carla and the kiddos, because some of the household was not feeling well with fever and other symptoms. So that was a bummer. But it happens, especially with kids and going to school. And there's just lots of young kids with germs running around. And so it's going to happen. So yeah. But luckily, at least so far, not the whole household is sick. And it was only 2 members of the household that had fallen ill, and they're on the mend. So yeah. what else did we make to eat this weekend? We had some low fat, so not no fat, because any source of meat will have fat in it, but we had 97% ground beef, which I seasoned kind of like taco seasoning. But I realize now, because we cooked 2 pounds of meat, I probably should have doubled the taco seasoning recipe, because I think Panda Bear's right. I think it was needing a little extra something. But it ended up tasting pretty good if you mixed it. So we used a can of Rotel tomatoes, because I am the worst with knives, and having to chop up green chilies and tomatoes and stuff is not my jam. So can of Rotel tomatoes did the trick for that. And then Panda Bear found some low-fat tortillas from the store. I guess from this reputable tortilla company. And they were pretty tasty. And then I made refried beans in my Instant Pot that had no fat, which was awesome. It actually tasted pretty good, surprisingly. It was a vegan recipe, so no fat, and just beans, cumin, salt, jalapeno, onion. That's pretty much what was in there. And then 45 minutes high pressure, cooking it in the Instant Pot. Supposed to naturally release like all of the pressure, but I got impatient and I stopped it at like 15 minutes, and I like quick released the rest of the pressure. So some of the beans weren't quite fully done to my liking. So I had to really like use my immersion blender and blend. And they definitely tasted better the second day, I feel, because it had time to sit in its own like juices and stuff like that. And then I also used like the leftover bean water to blend it again. And so yeah. And then I attempted to make a Spanish rice with the leftover rice that we had. So I used a little bit of chicken bouillon with saffron. It's not really saffron though. It's like Mexican saffron. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it looks like saffron, but it's not saffron, because saffron's an expensive spice. So use that with cumin and cook the rice for a bit. And so that was that our first meal? I think that was like our first meal today. And yeah. What else? It's been raining here in California, but it's like this weird rain that's like not fully rainy. It's just enough to like dirty up the car and cause like major traffic accidents because people are stupid and they can't drive in the rain. And yeah, was almost late this morning to work because of all that. But Panda Bear knew how to navigate the streets of LA, so got to work on time. What else? Well, I guess there doesn't need to be anything else, because this is the last nail strip. Oh, I hate doing my thumbs. There's always like a little bubble, because I am so bad at smoothing out the strip on my thumb. There's just the curve of my thumb somehow just is not the best as far as me, especially because I'm left-handed. So whenever I'm using my right hand to put strips on my left hand, the accuracy of like laying them down is not there. So, But what I can do is apply some heat to that. So I'm going to use the flaxseed bag that I got from Stacy Adams. Throw it in the microwave for like a minute and then just apply heat. And sometimes that helps smooth out any of the little lumps and bumps that exist from not placing the strip on properly. But you see the difference between left hand application to my right hand, smooth, looks great. Right hand application to my left hand, bumpy. But that's it. Luxe Dècor, chosen by my panda bear. And it looks really pretty actually. So once I apply some heat on that, hopefully it'll all smooth out. And I will definitely take a nail-fee in the morning when I actually have good light. And yeah, if you watched this all the way through, go ahead and comment the clock emoji, because there's so much time spent working this weekend that it's like I'm a clock watcher, I'm a time watcher. So clock emoji down below, or any comment you like. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you all next time. Peace.